Okay. So if we can turn our attention towards the transparency of presence, the silence, the inner stillness, the inner causeless peace of being. So we let our experience be what it is, whichever way the body is appearing right now, whatever sensations and thoughts. Remaining aware, present. Not interested in fixing anything, repairing anything, or getting somewhere, or holding on to something. So we come to the stillness of presence, where there is no past and no future, just the transparency of being. The reality of our experience. Whatever appears disappears in the moment. It appears, it disappears instantaneously. Awareness remains undisturbed. Neither an appearance nor a disappearance. As awareness, there are no differences, no good and bad, worse and better, greater awareness and lesser awareness. There are no such things when it comes to awareness. Like the wide open sky is colorless and shapeless. undifferentiated by thought. Although we speak of the northern sky and the southern sky, in fact, there is no such thing as a northern sky and a southern sky. Just one undivided whole. And you are that, aren't you? This aware, still presence. Deep within yourself, you know your true nature. Although at the surface, there is this wave and that wave. At the core of your being, there are no waves. Within your heart of hearts, you know that you are the freedom of being, the peace of being, the joy, the deathless. It is out of this silence, out of this stillness, that sound arises, which is a manifestation of the silence, a frequency of the silence, which is not a frequency and yet manifests all frequencies. Like the white light is colorless, and yes, and yet it manifests all colors, infinite shades of blue, red, and green, and so much more. Similarly, your true nature is silent and still, transparent and formless, and yet it manifests as so many forms, shapes, and sounds. Without being disturbed. Like the wind when it blows through the canyon, it produces a howl of sound. While all along it is silent. So as awareness, as consciousness, you are this silent stillness, this causeless peace, in spite of manifesting as so many sounds and shapes and shades. You are not a sound, not a shape, not a form. Whenever you overlook this understanding, or whenever you do not comprehend your reality, and you confuse yourself to be a man, a woman, a person, a body mind of a certain age and shape, then you are subject to the inner turmoil, the sense of lack and concern about the future. But we have available to us the grace of consciousness, of awareness. Always available to us. All situations, all circumstances. And as awareness, I am not a person, I am not a body mind that exists in time and space, worrying about friends, family, future, images. All images dissolve in understanding. This understanding about reality, I cherish. I visit and revisit as often as needed. Until I recognize myself beyond any doubt as that, the transparent reality of consciousness. The freedom of being, the peace of being, the joy, the love, the causeless happiness. Undisturbable, absolute, beyond any doubt. Whatever situation arises for you is an impression that's arising within the stillness, within the silence. So we recognize the silence, we recognize the stillness, which is undisturbed. Over and over. We take our position as that silent presence. So the old habits of reacting, gossiping, blaming, judging, defending, negating, avoiding. They come face to face with the silent stillness. And they dissolve in that. Notice that which is available to you. Notice the choice that you have to be still, to be silent, psychologically, inwardly. In the presence of whatever sensations or feelings may appear. They are appearances, neutral, in that they're impersonal, cosmic events. That have no significance except the significance that you choose to give them. Images of myself may appear, which are utter falsehood, because you are not an image or a bundle of images. Although the image may say, this is you and this is what's happening to you, you recognize the falsehood of such a narrative. You do not buy into it. Similarly, the narrative about your parents, your friends, your family, he's like this, she's like that. We recognize the random quality of such a narrative that has no validity outside of the validity that you choose to give it, that which you accept. But there is only one thing you can be certain of, and that is not the stream of thoughts or feelings. That which you can be absolutely certain of is awareness. Which is neither tall nor short, neither female, male, or whatever. Doesn't it make sense to stay with that which we are certain of, rather than the stream of thoughts and feelings and images, the falsehood of self-definition? Most often, when you do not rely on the still, silent presence, you will find yourself engaged in the old patterns of attack and defense, the misery. So you may have the understanding that I am consciousness, and you confirm and affirm this understanding by remaining still and transparent, unmoved, unstirred by the old tendencies which may be hidden within your body mind. Okay, so if you have any questions, anything that you would like to explore, Please go ahead.
Thank you so much, Magdi.
Hello, Mina.
Hello. It was very, very beautiful, this insight now. I felt so very deep connected with this awareness. And sometimes I think we are put, especially in special situations with this narrative, to also have the opportunity to recognize or to realize that this is not us.
Yes. Yes.
This, I have more and more the feeling that there was a time I was very much like lost inside these stories, and more it is like going outside and being not connected with it, and being only observing it and not judging, and it's like life is putting these situations for again to give the opportunity to really see clearly that it is not what I am.
Yes, in the painful situations in life, there is behind the situation the belief that I am a mother, a father, a son, a daughter, a body, mind.
Yes.
As soon as there is this belief, there is a sense of limitation and the potential of negative emotions to get triggered in our life. So we come to that understanding, there is that false belief. As soon as there's a false belief, here I am, a limited person, succeeding, failing, God knows what's happening to my body, to my car, to my money, to my house, to my family, etc. This is the root cause of the unhappiness in our life. And then we find that there is this understanding, and then life continues to present some disappointment. Maybe it's just an expectation, or somebody behaves in a certain way that is not loving. And here we are, we perceive that, we sense that. And the tendency may be there to blame them, accuse them, judge them, etc., whatever, separate ourselves. The tendency may be there to separate ourselves. But then because we have the understanding, which we can always revisit, the understanding that the unhappiness is based on the belief of separation. So then we have available to us not just that understanding, but also our capacity to perceive from a different place than the place which assumes, oh my God, what are they doing to me? Instead, we perceive the human condition, maybe in unloving, unkind behavior, I don't know. We perceive it. But there is a place within us that is available for us that is undisturbable, that recognizes, oh yeah, interesting wave, but there is nothing happening to the ocean. There's nothing happening to eye consciousness, to that stillness, to that presence, to the spaciousness that perceives, to the reality that perceives. Because the reality that perceives, the same reality that hears these words right now, is not an object. It's an awareness. It's not something you can burn or tear or cut or. And so there is that which is untouched, undisturbed, and it's loving in that it is completely borderless, completely open, meaning it's not judgmental. It's not saying no, yes. It's just, so the quality of presence, the quality of awareness is love, because there's no judgment, no sides, no, this is the good side, this is the bad side, this is how the world should be, this is how my kids should be, this is how my neighbor should be, this is how my dog should be, this is how my life should be, this is how my body should be. That's just a narrative in all the stream of thought, conditioned thought, that is assuming that I, awareness, is a female or a male, or is 10-year-old or 20 or 30 or 50, whatever. Which is not our experience. Our experience is that I am awareness. I perceive a body, I perceive a thought, I perceive a sensation, I perceive, forms, objects. But I'm not an object, I'm not a thought, I'm not a bundle of sensations which I perceive. I'm not that. Even the strong thought that says, yes, you are, yes, you are, yes, you are, that thought is just an appearance. Like you look in the sky, you see a very thin blue cloud. It's an appearance. Or you could look and you could see a big, dark, dense black cloud. It's an appearance. It's equal. They're equal as appearances. We don't need to be convinced by the dark cloud because it's dark gray. It's just a color. It's just a shape. It's just a sound. Same thing. Sensations and feelings are just sounds within the body, which we refer to as sensations. They're neutral sensations, like right? So there is a capacity of perceiving that way, you see. And the more we perceive as consciousness, meaning perceive like the sky perceives all the clouds, the less the tendency to get triggered by situations, the less the tendency to get triggered. Not that we don't care, of course we care, but we don't get triggered. I care about the world and my neighbors, my friends. But it's come from a loving place. It doesn't come from, oh my God, what's happening to me? What will happen to me if I don't do this or that or that or that? What's going to happen to me if my kids, I don't know. Oh my God, what's going to happen to my kids if they do this and that and that? It's like the sky saying, oh my God, what's going to happen to the dark cloud if the dark cloud becomes darker or becomes lighter? What's going to happen to the cloud? Oh my God, I need to do something about the cloud. I need to make sure it's all pink clouds. We need pink clouds. We need pink clouds. This is really the same. It is the same. Yes. So there is understanding like the ocean, waves, no waves, big waves, small waves. That's how the unhappiness diminishes. This is how the belief in separation runs out of air, runs out of oxygen. And that's a wonderful thing.
beautiful. Yes.
So in our life, there is more of a flow, an ease, an ease of being. And the sense of locality, of limitation, reverses to its original nature of openness.
Yes, there is a feeling more and more of a happiness without reason.
Oh, beautiful, yes. Happiness with a reason is limited. What if the reason changes, Yeah, right, with that reason, just absolutely. What is absolute has no reason. There is no cause and effect in the absolute. Happiness, joy, love, freedom, beauty. They're unconditional, they're absolute.
Yes, and what I realize more and more is this being all connected with all, and that something that now causes unhappiness can change and cause happiness, because something that seems now very bad turns out in something that can develop as something very good.
Yeah.
So, and I see that also this big wisdom in all that is happening, that it's like I look at the picture, only 2 centimeters, but the picture is big, and I see only this little thing, and I don't see the connection to all other parts of the picture.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. The yin and the yang symbol, there is, it's connected, the black, the white, it's connected. Let's say, we could look at the bottle and say the bottle is full of water or it's empty of water. That's one way of looking at the bottle. Or you could look at the bottle, it's full of water or it's full of air.
Yes.
It can always be full. There are mind perspectives that once you're open to the infinite possibilities, the infinite potential, with that position about how things should be. So
yes.
Noticing the infinite creativity of consciousness, you are always in awe and always at the edge of the unknown, which is infinite.
Yes, and at the same time, it seems that for this awareness, nothing is unknown. All is ever fresh, and at the same time, it is all known.
Yes, because in fact, our experience and the reality of our experience is this moment, which is not, 1 millisecond or 1 microsecond, it's no time. It is no time, because there's no, it's not possible to experience before, it's not possible to experience after. So actually our experience, yes, is no time, or another way of saying it is the eternity of consciousness.
Yes.
So yes, the eternity of consciousness, what is hidden? There's nothing that is hidden. So yes, one could say everything is known, with the understanding that there are no things outside of awareness.
Yes.
In other words, what the mind refers to as things, awareness refers to as awareness. The mind, meaning thought, refers to separate realities. There is a reality out there, which is the moon. There is a reality out there, which is the river. There is a reality out there, which is a thought. There is a reality out there, which is a feeling. Out there, it could be where in the body, but it's out there. From the mind's perspective, there are things separate with separate realities. But from the point of view of awareness, which is the directness of our experience right now, the thought and the awareness of the thought are not separate. The sound and the awareness of the sound are not separate. The sensation of our feet on the ground and the awareness of the sensation are not two. So from our experience, not from our thinking, which is conditioned, but from our experience, what the mind refers to as things, as objects, awareness perceives as itself, as its dance, the dance of Shiva. Like the waves are the dance of the ocean. They're not separate from the ocean, they're not separate from water, right? They're not.
Yes. Very beautiful.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Magdi.
Okay, Mina. Okay. Okay. Yes. Any questions? By the way, if there are people who are in this meeting who are in the wrong
Of course, there's tissue.
place,
Not all the tissue can go down in the fucking toilet. You feel me?
so it looks there are a couple of people who are in the wrong place here. It's okay, it happens, no big deal. Yeah. Well,
Magdi?
yes, hello, Esther.
Hi there. That was one of those opportunities that Mina was talking about.
Yeah, right. Just images on the screen.
Yeah.
No significance whatsoever. There is no disturbance.
Nope.
because we have no position. We're the openness of being. We're not a problem. Of course, we have the remove button, so we exert the remove button, and that's our freedom to. Thank goodness we can do that, so we can be together. Yes, Esther.
Yesterday, or no, it was Friday, towards the end of your meditation, you said to go so deep that there's not room for anything else.
Yes.
And that really, just those few words stayed with me, just kept staying with me. And yesterday, and partially today, I had an opportunity to engage with a person that, well, let me put it this way. Last summer, Donald Trump was like a nemesis for me. It's like whenever he opened his mouth, I caused reactions in me. And so that was really a grace that came for me to work through. And so this opportunity yesterday was to engage with a person like that, who apparently is unloving, and without judging, it was apparent that, that I was engaging with someone like Donald Trump. And I was very aware in this particular engagement that there was no Esther or there was no Gary, and that I noticed when I would ask him questions or whenever I, engaged with him, I just felt the clarity and the presence. And it's not to say that I don't know what the repercussions of that are. All I know is that I had the opportunity, it presented itself very strongly to almost meet that nemesis that I've been holding, I was holding for so long. And I was in a position to totally engage with that. And it was like, it was beautiful to experience the clarity and the stillness in the midst of the storm, so to speak.
Yes.
So I just wanted to share that.
Yes.
Victor was so clear.
So just wanted to say a couple of words about this total presence, which is, quotes unquote, both inwardly and outwardly. So outwardly, there is that which we perceive, and things we hear, we experience. And inwardly, there is whatever there is. There may be a reaction, maybe a contraction, there may be whatever there is, inwardly. It's sort of a academic distinction, but I think it's worthwhile to mention it. So there is the complete presence, which is a sort of an absence, a totality of presence, a complete interest, not a personal interest in a certain direction, but an interest in being in presence, being fully there, to comprehend, to listen, to feel, to sense it, to be available to it, to quotes unquote the other, or to the situation that's appearing to you. Also, inwardly, there is a situation. Inwardly, there is a panorama. Inwardly, there is also an unfolding, something appearing to be also inwardly, to be also completely present, an uninterested presence, not a presence with a certain intention or a certain direction, but a complete, still, silent presence. Not in order to endure or in order to overcome or in order to accomplish. But because it is real. This reality of the silence, the reality of the stillness, the reality of awareness. To be fully available to that. And awareness is not interested in correcting, adjusting, improving, seeking, whatever. It has one love and one passion, which is absolute, undiscriminate love and passion. It's undiscriminate love and passion. That's it, undiscriminate love and passion. It's not defending anything. It's not protecting anything. It's not maintaining anything. Right?
The words came to me as you were speaking just now, that in the midst of it, it comes clear that this is just the way it is. This clarity and this presence, that is what is. And that's it.
Yes, and it is joyful. It has a perfume of love and beauty. Not as a mind experience, that comes and goes, but much deeper than that.
Thanks, Magdi.
Okay, Esther, lovely to see you. Any questions?
We are being told.
Hi, Lulu.
Hi. My question is that we are being told we have choices. And to my understanding, a choice comes from mind or mind activity. If my mind functions automatically, like clouds come and go, how can I choose my thoughts?
Mm-hmm.
And what kind of a choice are we talking about
Right.
that I do have?
Yes, yes, absolutely. Lulu, think in terms of reality.
Okay.
In your experience, there is something rather than nothing. Although our conversation right now may be a dream. In other words, it's possible that I am right now sleeping on some distant planet, maybe Pluto or whatever, and I'm dreaming this conversation. You know, in the dream, it seems very real, right? I mean, the dream. Although this conversation may be a dream, there is a reality to it. The reality is something that perceives it. So in our experience, there is a reality, which may not necessarily be the content of our experience, because it could be a dream. This reality, once we investigate it, we realize it's consciousness, awareness. There is what we refer to as I perceive. Whatever it is that perceives, what hears, that perceives this perception, but truly the reality that perceives, that which truly perceives. In our conversation, we refer to this reality as, besides reality, we refer to it as awareness, or as I, not the name of the body, not Magdi or Lulu, but I awareness, I consciousness.
Right.
So when you think in terms of reality, you realize there is one reality.
Right.
And if there is a chooser, or if there is a choice, and if the choice is real, if there is any real choice, it can only be a choice that is performed by that one reality.
Right.
Right. So given that reality is awareness or I or consciousness, whichever way you word it, whatever choices there are, and we do feel there are choices. We do feel, oh, gee, I had the thought of, you know, a pizza or, you know, a salad, and I went for the salad instead of the pizza. So we do feel that we made a choice. We do feel that there is a choice and we made a choice. So what is it that's making the choice? Well, there's only one reality, and there is a reality to the choice. We do sense that there is a reality to the choice. Then it can only be the reality of consciousness that, or I, consciousness, that made this choice.
So we are not the one who makes the choice, but the consciousness itself makes the choice. And we think that we did it.
When you say we think, what do you mean by we? Or when you say I think that I did it, what do you mean by I in that sentence?
Body mind, referred to as a body mind.
Body mind doesn't think.
The mind thinks, but.
No, hold on. Let's not move so fast. Let's slow it down a little bit.
Okay.
Now, when we say the mind thinks, when I hear the sentence, the mind thinks, I get the image that there is a mind somewhere, and that mind is undergoing an activity, which is the activity of thinking. That's what the image I get. So therefore I ask myself, oh, cool. Where is that? What is that mind? Where is that mind? The logical next question that I ask myself is, oh, interesting. Where is that mind? What is that mind? What is my experience of that mind? So I ask myself, say, oh, what is my experience of the mind? And when I take a look, and again, you know, that's just my, you know, you may have a different experience, but when I take a look at what is my experience of the mind, I don't experience a mind. I'm only experiencing a thought. For example, the thought today is Sunday, meaning I perceive the thought. I perceive the image. I'm perceiving an image right now on the screen. I'm perceiving the sensation of my feet on the ground. But I'm not perceiving a mind anywhere. Would you agree with me? Is that your experience also?
Mind is just a metaphor.
But let's stay with my language.
Yeah.
Now, just to see if you're in agreement with what I'm sharing with you.
Okay.
Before we go into another version of the mind as a metaphor. I don't perceive something as a mind. I may perceive a thought that says, whatever, there is a mind, you know. But that's a thought.
Right.
So I do not experience or perceive a mind. Yes, you're on board with that?
Absolutely, yes.
So therefore, since we're talking about mind, and I do talk about mind a lot, the mind is just a concept. I use the term mind to refer to a set of thoughts or the process, let's say the process of thinking, perceiving, and sensing. But there is no such a thing as a mind. There is just these sounds right now, this perception right now, the sensation of your back against the chair right now. If you turn your attention to the breath, there is the breath right now. So the mind, what I refer to as the mind, is just this experience, this quotes unquote phenomenal experience, meaning perception, disperception, sensation, or mentation. And I do refer to the mind as the subset of perceptions, sensations, and mentations.
Correct.
So the key point is that the mind, I refer to the mind as a set of gross and subtle forms. A perception or a sound is a gross form. A thought or an image is a subtle form. They're objects. An object does not think. A set of objects do not think. So in my book, in my usage of the term mind, I do not refer to the mind as a thinking entity. I refer to the mind as that which is perceived. And I refer to awareness or consciousness as the reality of that which is perceived, as well as the reality which perceives. Let me repeat that. I refer to consciousness or awareness as the reality which perceives, as well as the reality of that which is perceived. Another way of saying it, awareness is the reality which perceives and is the reality of the world, as well as the reality of the mind being thoughts, and the body being sensations, and the world being perceptions. So only reality can think, but a thought cannot think. A sensation cannot think. A sensation cannot perceive. A thought cannot perceive. A perception cannot think. You follow?
Yes. But where does the choices come in?
So if there is a choice, and we do sense there is a choice, we chose to move to California, Tara and I. We do feel, and we have a sense of that feeling. That choice can only be real if it is performed by that which is real, meaning that which thinks must be real, and it can only be awareness or consciousness. Consciousness chooses. I choose to buy a red car instead of a blue car.
I being consciousness.
I'm sorry? Yes.
I being the consciousness.
I being consciousness. There's only one I. There's only one reality.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So in the Advaitic teaching, sometimes there is a confusion. Some people hear a teacher say, well, there is no choice, we never choose. We don't choose our thoughts. But that's not the complete understanding. We don't choose our thoughts as, quotes unquote, a personal self. In fact, the personal self is imaginary. I don't choose my thought as Magdi. Magdi is just the name of a body. It's like a Toyota is the name of my car. You see, the Toyota, the name Toyota or the car doesn't choose to drive down to the market.
Right.
Right? So yes, the teaching that says, I do not choose my thought is referring to I, the body mind. But that's not the complete understanding. The complete understanding is I choose all choices. I make all choices. I not being the body mind, I being consciousness. In fact, in your experience, you may feel that you are Lulu, but the fact that you feel that you are Lulu does not mean that you are Lulu. Why? Because you are perceiving that feeling.
Right.
That which perceives the feeling is not the feeling. The feeling says, I'm Lulu, but that which perceives the feeling perceives that feeling and can go, yeah, I am Lulu, or can go, no, I'm not Lulu. I am that which perceives Lulu. I'm not Lulu. You see, that's where the choice comes in. You can choose ignorance. Yes, I am Lulu. Oh my God, what's going to happen to me? What's going to happen to blah, blah, blah. You know, why did she do this to me? You can choose to be Lulu. Right? And we do.
Yeah.
What is it? Guilty as accused? We do. But then we realize, wait a minute. I don't have to choose to be Lulu. I perceive the feeling, I am Lulu, and oh my God, what's going to happen? I perceive a perception. Yes. And I remain still. Say, oh, interesting. Interesting movie. Interesting movie. But maybe it's not that interesting. Maybe that movie isn't that interesting. You know, enough is enough. You know, enough is enough. Enough is enough. Been there, done that, you know, been the Lulu. I've been Lulu, the good Lulu, the bad Lulu, the fair Lulu, loved Lulu, the unloved Lulu. I've been there, done that, right? We've all been there, done that. So maybe it's not that interesting. That's up to you to flip your coin.
Yeah, I just wanted to be clear because everyone throws this, oh, you have a choice to do this, but to my experience, I'm not the one who chooses.
Well, reflect about the conversation we had, you know, now, and you know, the link, you know, you can revisit this video to reflect upon what we just discussed, because I understand your question, and
Okay.
yeah, and I think we went to the heart of it. So now you just have to double check your understanding, make sure your understanding is your understanding, and not something you're borrowing from me or from anybody else. Make sure that you get clarity. And if you don't, of course, please ask again. Until the clarity is yours, then you don't need to rely upon what you heard, what you did not hear, and what was said. When you own something, meaning when you come to your own understanding, that's it. It trumps everything that you've heard.
Right. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Yes. Any questions? Okay, well, if there are no more questions, thank you all. Lovely to be with you, Frank. Nice to see you, Frank. And Mina and Domina.
Thank you so much, Magdi.
Thank you,
Magdi.
Yes, and Lulu and Holger. Esther. Okay, Esther. Charlie. Hey, Charlie. Jenny. Hi, Jenny. Kelly. Holly. Hello, Holly.
Thank you.
Yes. George. George. Rich.
He's finishing the meeting.
Anna. Anna.
Maybe that'll be.
And Malcolm and John.
Thanks, Magdi.
Yeah. Anna Maria and Shiva. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.